blazing through this life. And there has to be much more to being alive than talking and sleepwalking through the same old 9 to 5 and stealing precious days away to let your soul revive. Just saving up your life till you retire. And you wanna make perfection, but that's never gonna be. So you try to do your best so you can let yourself be free. And knowing that you care at all is good enough for me. We may be born in darkness, but we're trying hard to see. We may be born in darkness, but we're trying hard. We're trying hard to see. You're floating like a feather in the breeze, but the past is there for lessons and for precious memories. It doesn't need to drown you and bring you to your knees. Just thinking of the chances that slipped by. And the future isn't always in your hands, but the mind denies the freedom and the spirit understands. The moment plays the music of a million marching bands, just trying to find a rhythm and a song. And you wanna make perfection, but that's never gonna be. So you try to do your best so you can let yourself be free. And knowing that you care at all is good enough for me. We may be born in darkness, but we're trying hard to see. We may be born in darkness, but we're trying hard. We're trying hard to see.
Thank you, Chris. That was lovely. Thank you very much. And that's called Life in the Valley.
It is,
Yeah, it's a
yeah.
beautiful song. Okay, now you're going to be grilled. So I'm handing over to my better half to ask you a question.
Our first question is always the same, and it's based on the Radcliffe and Macaulay feature on the radio show. First, last and everything. So can you remember the first sort of album that you bought or first song that had an impact on you?
Yeah, and this is really apt actually, because when I came in today, Mike was playing on the piano Streets of London by Ralph McTell, which we all know. And that, I heard that when I was about 14, I think, and it opened the door to all of the folk music that I've discovered afterwards. So that was a seminal discovery for me, that particular song. And he's known, it's a shame really, Ralph McTell's known for that one song, and he's a brilliant, very prolific songwriter. I'm actually going to play one of his next. So do go and check him out if you haven't heard anything beyond Streets of London, because there's some great stuff in there.
Yeah, I'm a big fan myself. And last, what was the last album that you bought, or the last song that sort of really had an impact?
Song that had an impact is, I don't know if you've heard of a great Stourbridge songwriter called Pete Bodice. Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Pete brought out an album, it's his most recent one, it's called And Our Love Will Exceed It All. And it's absolutely gorgeous. And he did a performance at the New Crystal Folk Club. It's on YouTube, you can look it up. And he had a guy playing pedal steel and a guy playing a Stratocaster with him. And that performance of that song was really, really special. Yeah.
And the third element is everything. So what's your all-time favourite song?
That's a really difficult question, isn't it? I'm going to have to say, so for me on the songwriting front, this is divisive, but Leonard Cohen is number one for me. And some people say, oh, that's all depressing stuff. It's not. But Leonard Cohen started out as a poet, and so he was always about the words first. And, you know, I do poetry as well, and his lyrics matter a lot to me, and he wrote some really superb lyrics. And he had a song called Anthem, he wrote in the 80s, and it just has the most superb chorus, and it's ring the bells that still can ring, forget your perfect offering, there is a crack in everything, that's how the light gets in. Which I think that's the most perfect quatrain possibly in any song ever written, so that's my number one anthem by Leonard Cohen.
We do have another friend who's a big Leonard Cohen. He lives in Norway, but we met him overseas.
That's great. Would you like to sing your next song, introduce her?
Yes, sure. So this leads on, I just mentioned Ralph McTell, so I'm going to sing one of his songs. Not everyone realises this is a Ralph McTell song, and it's often found in books of Irish music, and it's cited sometimes as a traditional, which is... Did you? Yeah. So when Ralph McTell was very young, when he was 19, he was working on the roads in London, and he had a colleague there who was from County Clare in the west of Ireland, beautiful county, amazing countryside, great music, but there was no work there, and so he'd come over to work on the roads with Ralph, and he was down in a hole in the road one day, and Ralph said to him, "You must really miss home." And the Irishman said, "Yes, it's a long way from Clare to here." And so Ralph went home and he wrote this song. Well, there's four who share this room, and we work hard for the crack, sleeping late on Sundays. Well, I never get to mass. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. It's a long way from Clare to here. Oh, it's a long, long way, and it gets farther day by day. It's a long way from Clare to here. When Friday comes around, our Terry's always into fighting, and Ma would like a letter home, but I'm too tired for the riding. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. It's a long way from Clare to here. Oh, it's a long, long way, and it gets farther day by day. It's a long way from Clare to here. Well, it almost breaks my heart when I think of Josephine. I told her I'd be coming home with my pockets full of green, but it's a long, long way from Clare to here. It's a long way from Clare to here. Oh, it's a long, long way, and it gets farther day by day. It's a long way from Clare to here. Now the only time I feel alright is when I'm into drink. It'll sort of ease my pain a bit and level out my thinking. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. It's a long way from Clare to here. Oh, it's a long, long way, and it gets farther day by day. It's a long way long way from Clare to here. It's a long way from Clare to here. Oh, it's a long, long way, and it gets farther day by day. It's a long way from Clare to here.
That was just beautiful. Really, really nice.
Thanks, Mike.